young wide receiving core behind Amari Cooper. What are your thoughts behind, bringing a veteran in, letting these young guys see if somebody can step up and do what's needed?
Honestly, and I've thought about this too, between, the wide receivers on the market, whether it be, Will Fuller, who has that top end speed. You have Julio Jones, who's obviously been one of the top receivers in the game previously. And then you also have somebody like, T.Y. Hilton, who's a respected veteran. Honestly, I would rather, when it comes to the regular season roster, I'd rather go ahead and give that spot to somebody like an Isaiah Weston. Isaiah Weston is somebody who, has that skill set. He's 6'3", weighed in about 215 pounds, ran a 4.42 40-inch vertical leap. Again, has the athleticism that you want. And on top of that, in each of his seasons at Northern Iowa, he averaged over 20 yards per catch in each year with Northern Iowa at that point. So the fact that they were able to bring him in as an undrafted free agent, I think that also helps balance when it comes to some of the salary cap issues as well. Obviously I know that the Browns have a lot of space, but I do think that, again, when in terms of spending at other positions, maybe you can afford to spend more at a defensive tackle spot and bring in maybe another veteran like an Eddie Goldman at that point into that position room. But at that point, maybe you bring in somebody like Julio for training camp, similar to what happened in 2014 when they brought in Nate Burleson. So, you could go ahead and have that guy be that veteran leader for some of these undrafted guys. And maybe, maybe Julio Jones can teach Isaiah Weston heading into the season at that point. But I think that, the deep threats, I think that you're looking at Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think he can be that guy. So I don't think that necessarily Will Fuller makes a ton of sense other than the previous relationship with Watson. But then at that point, again, I mentioned Julio. I'm not really sure how much he has left in the tank. And then you also look at, T.Y. Hilton, who's been declining over the last few years. I'd rather go ahead and keep around somebody cost-controlled and looking at somebody younger with a higher ceiling, like somebody like an Isaiah Weston at this point in his career.